If you've been researching Manteca, you've probably seen a few videos of the pros and cons of living here. And to be honest, they all kind of say the same thing. So today, I'm going to give you the perspective of someone who grew up right here in Manteca. Not hype, not fluff, just what it's actually like. I'm Carolyn Cardoza, and I've been in real estate for 18 years. And like I said, I was raised right here in Manteca. I remember when we only had one stoplight. I've watched farmland turn into neighborhoods, and I've watched traffic become more congested and schools expand. So let's talk about the pros and cons of living in Manteca, and then you can decide if it's the right fit for you, your family, and your lifestyle. Number one is Manteca's central location. It matters more than people think. Manteca sits right between Stockton, Modesto, and Tracy, with easy access to Highway 99, 120, and I-5. But here's what that really means: that you can live in a quieter, more affordable area and still take day trips to Sacramento, San Francisco, anywhere in the Bay Area, the mountains, or the beach. Now, that flexibility is a big deal for a lot of people. You get space without feeling isolated. But on the flip side, the traffic is real. Okay, to be honest, traffic was not a thing when I was growing up here. But now, it absolutely is. Morning commute, evening commute, near freeway entrances, and around shopping centers. Is it the Bay Area traffic? No. But it's not the sleepy farm town it once was either. And if you're expecting zero congestion, that's just not today's Manteca. We have housing value, one of the biggest reasons people move here. Now, compared to the Bay Area, buyers often get more square footage, newer construction, planned communities, and modern layouts. I've worked with first-time buyers, Bay Area relocations, growing families, move-up buyers, and downsizers who simply couldn't get this kind of home where they were. Manteca gives people an opportunity to own something that feels substantial without the Bay Area prices. But here's what people don't always think about in new construction. The trade-offs in newer homes often comes with a smaller lot, HOA fees, less customization, and sometimes higher property taxes in certain neighborhoods. And for some people, that's perfectly fine. And for others, especially those who are used to the older homes on larger lots, it can feel tight and restrictive. It's not a bad thing for some people, it just has to match your expectations. Manteca has always been family-oriented. Even as it's grown, the core has never really changed. You see it in the parks, and you see it at youth sports games on Saturday mornings, and you see it at school events, community festivals, and local fundraisers. There are a lot of second, third, and even fourth generation families here. Now that says something. People don't just move here and leave, they stay. They build relationships and put down roots. And as someone who grew up here, I've watched kids grow up, get married, and raise their own families right here in town. I've even seen it in my own life. If you're raising kids or you're looking for a place where neighbors know each other and the community still matters, that stability is a big plus. It's not perfect, no place is, but there's a grounded, steady feel here that a lot of people really appreciate. Now, with that being said, it's not a big city. And if you're looking for the big city lifestyle, nightlife, walkable downtown areas, trendy restaurants on every corner, live music every weekend, well, this isn't it. We don't have a bustling urban core where you can walk right out your door and bar hop or grab some late night sushi. Most social life here revolves around family, school activities, youth sports, church, backyard gatherings, and home. And for a lot of people, that's exactly why they moved here. But for others, especially those coming from larger cities, it can feel quiet. Maybe even too quiet. You'll likely be driving to Modesto, Stockton, or the Bay Area for certain entertainment experiences. Now, that doesn't make Manteca boring, it just makes it different. And a lifestyle mismatch is one of the biggest reasons people regret moving here. If someone thrives on energy, nightlife, and constant activity, this might not check the boxes. But if you value space, calmer evenings, and more home-centered routine, then this could actually feel refreshing. Now, Manteca isn't just about agriculture anymore. Yes, farming and dairy are part of our story and always will be, but the job base has really expanded over the years. Today, we see growth in logistics and distribution, healthcare, education, retail, manufacturing, and hospitality. Because of our location near Highway 99, 120, and I-5, Manteca has become attractive for distribution centers and regional employers. That's brought new jobs into this area. And at the same time, many residents commute to nearby cities like Stockton, Modesto, Tracy, and even the Bay Area. We're even seeing more remote workers choose to live here because they can work from anywhere. So you have a mix. Some people work locally, some commute, and some work from home. From a real estate perspective, diversity matters. When a city depends on only one industry, it can be more vulnerable during economic changes. Manteca has broadened its job base over time, which helps create more stability. And in my 18 years of watching this market, that kind of balance makes a difference long term. Let's talk about transportation, because Manteca is not a walk-everywhere city. Public transportation does exist. There are bus routes and there are commuting options to nearby cities. But realistically, most residents rely on their cars for everyday life. Work, school, grocery runs, dinner out, sports practices, you're driving. And if you're coming from a dense urban area where you can walk downstairs for coffee, hop on a train, or walk to dinner, this will feel different. You'll plan your errands a little differently. You'll think in terms of driving time instead of walking distance. Now, for many people, that's not a problem at all. In fact, some prefer it. They like quieter streets, less foot traffic, and neighborhoods that feel more residential. But if walkability and public transit are high priorities for you, that's something to really think about before you make a move. It's not a flaw, it's just part of the lifestyle here. And number 5, Manteca is growing and evolving. This one is personal for me. I've watched Manteca grow over decades, not just from behind the desk, but from living here. I remember open fields where neighborhoods now stand. And I've watched new schools open, new shopping centers develop, more restaurants and services come into town. It's been fascinating to see the shift. We've seen new construction communities expand, more retail options, better freeway access, and improvements to infrastructure. The buyer demographics have evolved too. It's not just local families anymore. We see Bay Area relocations, remote workers, young families, retirees, downsizing, and a much broader mix of people choosing Manteca. And with growth comes opportunity. Opportunity for homeowners to build equity. Opportunity for small businesses, and opportunity for buyers who want to get in before the next phase of expansion. Now, growth does come with adjustment, and we've talked about that in the cons. But from a long-term perspective, a city that continues to invest, expand, and evolve tends to create forward momentum. And from someone who has watched it happen firsthand, that forward movement has been exciting to see. As exciting as growth can be, it does come with challenges. With growth comes more traffic congestion, school overcrowding in certain areas, infrastructure trying to keep up, and longtime residents adjusting to change. Change isn't always easy, but it's part of becoming a larger city. So when new neighborhoods go in and more people move here, roads feel busier. Intersections that used to be easy suddenly back up during commute hours, and some schools reach capacity faster than expected. The city works to expand and improve, but sometimes growth moves quicker than the systems around it. And then there's the emotional side of it. For people who have lived here for a long time, like I have, change can be bittersweet. Watching farmland turn into rooftops is exciting for opportunity, but it's also different than what it used to be. New residents sometimes underestimate how quickly a growing city can shift, and longtime residents sometimes struggle with how much it has already changed. Growth isn't good or bad, it's just part of becoming a larger, more developed city. And if you're considering moving here, it's important to understand both sides, the opportunity and the adjustment. And here's a final thought. After living here my entire life and working in real estate for the last 18 years, here's what I can say honestly, that Manteca isn't trying to be San Francisco, and it's not trying to be Sacramento, and it's definitely not the tiny farm town it used to be either. It's something in between. It's a growing Central California city that offers space, community, and flexibility, but it also comes with traffic, change, and a more car-centered lifestyle. And for some people, that combination feels just right, and for others, it doesn't. And that's okay. And when you understand both the pros and the cons clearly, you can make a confident decision instead of an emotional one. And if you'd like to walk through whether Manteca is a right fit for you, I'd be happy to have that conversation with you. I'm Carolyn Cardoza, and real estate is personal for me, and it matters who you work with. It's not just about a house, it's about a lifestyle. And if this video has helped you, please like it and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.